It may have been that way for a while, but it's now. Oh, is that what it is? Okay. I was like,
Are you talking about for the tree itself?
That look. Looking over that map.
She may be late.
You know, I've never been to take that. Not 8-1. 4 years. I ain't never missed that meeting. Yeah.
I haven't even made
What's wrong?
That's your key.
Huh?
Got that big one.
Well, this clock doesn't line, my phone doesn't line 6:27.
No big deal when you get back.
Oh, why is this a special day? I didn't give her a chair.
How are you?
Carol, you should check my location out.
No, we take turns.
I don't agree.
I'd like to call the December town council meeting to order. It's Carol and Oliver's time to give the invocation. At the end of the invocation, let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag.
Our Father, as we come to you tonight, we just thank you for the year we've had. It's been full of surprises. We have a lot of things going on in our town, and I just thank you for helping us make, hopefully, for right decisions. I ask as we go into this meeting that you be with us, that we take care of business at hand, and that it's a new year and our new members of council take office, that things go forward, that we do the things that you want us to do, Father. And I ask and I thank you for your blessings on our town, and ask that your continued blessings on our town. All these things we ask in the name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Where'd you go? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. I hope everyone here will have fun and sign in to being attendees and get a copy of the agenda. If you haven't, please do so. In the meantime, council members that haven't reviewed the minutes, please do so. And that's the next item on our agenda. Is approval of the minutes if they're satisfactory.
If someone has a question, I'm thinking, but I wasn't here, so
Yeah.
I second the motion.
There's a motion to accept the minutes as written with a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye if you've had time to read it. Okay, the minutes will be accepted as read and archived. Financial report is in your packet. Take your time, look through it. If you have any questions, I should be able to answer them. Should be able to answer them. You could throw one at me from left field, I can't. But while y'all are looking at that, I may, if you can do two things at one time, that is, it's been a tradition that we've always done. Typically, we've always given our employees a year-end Christmas bonus, which amounts to approximately half of their otherwise 1 week's pay, which would be very minimal because, to be quite honest with you, we just got a few employees. So I hadn't had this figured in the budget, so I do need a vote of council to approve that. We're looking at not many, a few $100. Do I hear a second?
I second.
All in favor of the year-end bonus for the employees, signify by saying aye. Okay. So now, if you look in the, you see we're still standing good with the budget. We have some items that we haven't paid out yet. Okay, well, we have some items that we haven't paid the people that's doing the ceiling work. They, still working, but they hadn't quite finalized their work, so we hadn't paid them yet. And the guy that was doing the landscaping work, he hadn't quite finalized his work. This COVID thing and getting people to work has been hard. But that hasn't been paid for yet, but with the money sitting good in the bank here. Got $155,000 in the bank right now. Of course, that's leaving us with $35,000 contingency fund in that amount at this point of the year. Do you have any questions pertaining to the budget?
I'm making a motion we accept the budget as submitted.
Okay, well, I don't think we really, in the past, I don't think we've ever taken a vote on that, because we just, no question, we just move on. Does anybody need anything answered on the budget? If not, we'll move on. And you can always call me later. We're up to date on everything. Brenda, isn't it true that we had like a 2-day in-house visit with our auditor?
Actually, we had 1 day because all of the paperwork that they needed was provided. And so they only came 1 day, and they said that if they had any questions that they would call back. They haven't called back.
Okay, but they have done the,
Yes, they have done the audit. They have completed it.
they come here and they said, the last time they set up at this table here, they just pull things, they go through it and do a thorough auditing of the town's accounts. And then they'll issue this report, I imagine, in a couple of months.
Yeah, they should have it done as, they said as soon as possible. They would, so
Right.
maybe a couple of weeks.
Very, very reputable company. They do the city of Florence, as a matter of fact. They're on every street corner. Those type businesses are on every street corner. Okay, if we don't have anything else in the finance section, we'll go to Department Committee reports. Our new full-time police officer, Ms. Renee Warden, I think has something to speak.
At the last meeting, Chief August talked about a meeting that we were gonna attend for a toy drive. And what it is, it's called the CSX Toy Express. It's law enforcement first responders, and what they did is they donated, Siding Hill Police Department, several toys. I think I have about 40. I'm gonna pick up some more personally this weekend to add to it. But Monday from 3 to 5, I'm gonna do a small little toy giveaway for those in Society Hill area. Darlington County Sheriff's Office, several different departments around Darlington County had participated in it, and they all got their own toys from this group. So I've given her a copy of the paper that we're gonna put on the Society Hill Facebook page. So if you know any families that have, the toys I have range from about 6 years old to 12 years old. If you know any families that are in need, I have, and there's some pretty nice toys. I've got like a American Girl doll, and I've got stuff like, I mean, they're pretty decent toys. So if you know anybody that has young children from 3 to 5 up here at the police department, I don't know if you guys know where my office is. It's on the other side of Town Hall. That's where I'll be doing it at. Monday. Like I said, other departments they're doing the same thing within their own department. So this is mainly for Society Hill.
Will that be Monday, December 20th from 3 to 5 here?
Yes, sir. Here. Yes, sir.
Where do we stand on the car?
I'm sorry?
Where do we stand on the purchase of a car?
The last we heard, it was supposed to be done at the end of November. We haven't heard anything back on them yet. I will try to get in touch with the lady that was supposed to let us know where it's at. Last we knew, we were waiting on some kind of chip for it.
Right. Yes.
So I'll try and get in touch with her this time, who knows when.
Okay.
Once we do get the vehicle, it has to go and be outfitted, so it could be a little bit longer. I'm ready, I assure you.
I'm sure.
They know my car too well. I'm ready.
Sure, they log out too.
Yes. Thank you, Cody.
Lieutenant Warden, the fire hydrant that got ran over the other night, was that an automobile that ran the?
It's a semi truck. From what I heard, I haven't read the report. Highway Patrol should have worked it.
Okay,
Because Sheriff's Office, they don't actually do wrecks.
right,
So Highway Patrol should have worked it.
right.
From what I've heard, it was a semi truck.
It was like a dead hour of the night.
What's the name?
Which they did.
She was saying with
Was it an 18-wheeler?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we call them semi truck. Yes, it was 18 wheeler.
Same thing, yeah. That's why we didn't have to do it.
Comment.
They
Yeah,
wasn't supposed to be coming down that street.
Correct.
That's right.
I was behind the truck. He turned on Church Street and got down there and saw three trucks. So he turned toward Church Street and St. David's coming together and got stuck on that hump there. So I called the deputy sheriff and they sent the sheriff out because one lane was blocked, St. David's side was blocked. So that's what happened. I didn't stay around to see what the record service did and if they tore anything up or what, but
The truck didn't tear anything up.
when we left, the truck hadn't tore anything up.
They were actually people going around the truck, almost into the ditch. So
maybe they hit that.
they may have.
Well, that's happened many a time. That's happened many a time, and that's the reason why we got a law that says no through trucks there. But despite that law, the GPS carries people that way anyway.
That's what happened, his GPS.
And that's awful. If they go to make that turn, they can't make it, and the trailer gets stuck, it's in the ways.
Right.
And then that's Katie bar to the door then. But Officer, Lieutenant Warden, and she's making them aware of this. She may not be stopping it, but they sure know aware of it.
So what can we do to, stop that from happening again? Do we need a sign on Main Street?
Well, the problem
We
is,
got
the
signs.
problem with it is there's signs when they're coming up Society Hill Road, there are signs from Darlington, the city of Darlington, all the way to Montclair, even if they're coming off of Montclair, there are signs all the way from Florence and Darlington to us that says no through truck. Problem is that once they get on Society Hill Road, there is nowhere for them to turn around, nowhere. So they continue what their GPS tells them to do, and then they meet.
Well, I thought there was a sign out there.
There is, but like I'm saying, there's signs telling them that they're not
There's
supposed to
nowhere
come
to
down
turn
Society
around
Road.
at 18.
And they start all the way down in Darlington. When you turn off of Cashua in Darlington onto Society Hill Road, there are signs. There's signs on Cashua and there's signs right when you turn on Society Hill Road out by Corner Connection. There's signs all, how they're getting actually to Society Hill, I don't know, because in Darlington, there's no through trucks going through Darlington. For them to get to that point to us, they've ignored signs long before they got to us.
He was turning off of 15 here,
Right.
side of church, going that way.
And then we have signs up there that are huge.
He saw the sign,
Yeah.
so he tried to come back up St. David to get back on 15 and
Yeah, the
401.
bottom line is we can't do any more than what we're doing to answer Deborah's question. We got the signage up. I mean, we don't have the signage up. The safety engineers got the sign up and we're patrolling it, so I wish there was some way you could do something about the GPS system, but we can't.
Maybe you need a Duke sign.
Maybe you need a bigger sign.
That's right.
That say no.
Yeah, put those pictures up there, they gonna turn the other way.
You need a big sign.
But anyway, just sounded before. And the only thing I can say,
Tony, if I'm not mistaken, the old Darlington Road is not a truck route.
That's right.
1541 and 52 is 34 from Darlington to Montclair is truck route. That is not a truck route.
that's right.
Same thing with 52, they come up with 52 from Chicago, GPS taking down Long Bluff.
Yeah.
They're stuck.
I saw that happen
Yeah.
today.
And another thing, talk about the signs, we got 5 signs all the way from the, Exxon to where you make the left turn with 2 arrows in the road, it says 52 to the left, and it points you down the wrong side of that median. People, I sit there in the store and watch them turn down the wrong side of the road all day long. Don't they?
Yeah.
So, there you go.
The beauty of technology.
5 signs.
But I will just say, get off on a little bit of a tangent here. I'm sorry that the people in the town were out of the water for about 2 days. But do understand that I remember in the late 1980s, when the town, Society Hill, had its own waterworks. Something like that would happen, they would have to call me, for instance, for a backhoe. I mean, the town did the best it could, all the mayors did the best they could to try to maintain the water system. But the delay that was associated with this water being outage, if the water system had still belonged to the town, Society Hill, they would have had to call a backhoe person, someone, at that time they called me. They wouldn't have the personnel, they wouldn't have the light, they wouldn't have the tool, the parts to do this kind of thing. So although it took as long as it did, if it belonged to the town, no doubt how long it would have taken. I mean, the town society just doesn't have, just didn't lend itself to operating the water system. And we would have probably been out of water for long, and they'd had to call in another town to come help. I mean, it's just economies of scale. The same reason we don't have a big grocery store in town. You just don't have the people to support it, and the water system couldn't make a go of it. So we're much better off by having Darlington County water, so that way we just want good, clean, safe drinking, reasonably priced water. And we do have some of the best in the state, and been ruled many times, so.
Am I
So despite being out at the time that we were, I mean, it could have been worse if we didn't, but we got the best we could have. And Mr. Duke reached out to me, and I gave him the contact number for the general manager for Darlington Water and Sewer. And he stayed in touch with them and was on them, and I called them, and then we called them back next morning. So we did everything we could, but so as bad as it was, it could have been worse. I mean, we still much better off, and they knew that back in 1990 when we switched over. First of all, we went belly up. We went broke. Secondly, Senator Sleevey helped us switch over to this water, and it's the way to go. I mean, because everybody, I don't think there's anybody here that don't want a clean, safe supply of water for our fire protection and everything. We got the cheapest water and the safest water and good water, and that's what's important.
Am I correct that we're still under a water advisory board advisory?
Oh, we still,
No.
Yeah.
As far as I know, that's the last I heard.
But we don't know how long.
No.
It was lifted, I think, like about 6 o'clock.
Okay, that, to me, that's, and I don't know where this fits in, but that's my one issue is the notification.
That's exactly what's wrong.
Because I get the emails when podunk stream somewhere in Egypt that I don't know is, the water's gonna be out. But our water was out and there was no notification.
You didn't get no notification?
So they email you, and to me, that's the department, one of us or something needs to take up with it. They need to let us know, okay, you're out of water,
Right.
whether it's the ETA or not. All I got was we're under boil water alert, and if it's been lifted, they should have sent that out as well.
I'll get back in touch with them about that.
If you don't mind, that'd be great.
That's something they should do.
Because that communication.
Just like you get to do.
Because honestly, we thought we didn't pay the water bill. You bet that morning the bills got paid.
Okay, let's get back to order now.
Okay.
Back to order, council members only, because I was supposed to be speaking here. Item 6A, second reading of ordinance number 2, a business license ordinance, the second final reading. Discuss the same thing we discussed before. This new business license ordinance, which is mandated by recent state law. This is a model that has been vetted through the years and approved legally by the municipal association. And it goes into the state law, and it says the act requires all municipalities and counties to impose a business license tax to adopt a standard business license year May 1st through April 30th. And to basically these business licenses are to be revenue neutral, and ours are. And as I told you before, the rates that we're gonna adopt, after consulting with the municipal association, they looked at all of our numbers, and what we're gonna do is, and it's considered one of the revenue neutral, and it would be one of the very lowest business tax rates in the state. We can't get any lower than what we are. And so in other words, we're business friendly, to say the least. So in other words, the minimum rate now, it used to be $50, going back to the 1990s, now it's going to be minimum for the first $2,000 of $40. And then for each additional $1,000 of revenue, it's going to be 15 cents per additional $1,000 of revenue. And it goes on to say here, subcontractors of a job shall be licensed on the same basis as general prime contractors for the same job. No deduction shall be made by a general or prime contractor for value of work performed by a subcontractor. That's state law. So this is something that we don't have a say in it. This is a standardized state law that passed by the legislature, and we're as cheap as we can get, and it's pretty straightforward. Eugene and Brenda and I met with municipal officials back here, and they went over our numbers. So I know this is cheaper than they can get. So bottom line, we got to get this done, and we need to get it done before the end of the year. That means we need to get second reading tonight. So if I have any questions, I'll be glad to entertain them. Otherwise, I would look for a motion to approve this business license ordinance. Second reading.
Make a motion to accept second reading.
I second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve second reading of ordinance number 2, the business license ordinance. Any further questions, discussions, or concerns concerning this ordinance? Seeing none, all in favor of the ordinance signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed, ordinance passed. Item 6B, we have second reading of ordinance number 3, an ordinance to codify Society Hills Code of Ordinances, which has not been codified since 2003. We've just been keeping them. They're legal, but they've been chronologically kept. But that's not proper, and that's not efficient. So in other words, everything's been sort of, not friendly at all for us or anybody. They need to be done. It was a big undertaking. Charlene McDonough, our librarian, assisted me many hours preparing this code of ordinances, along with, we got Municipal Code Corporation, the largest company in the United States that does this kind of work. There's only 2 that really does it, one out of Ohio and the other out of Tallahassee, Florida. But we've got a great piece of work here in our ordinance book. I got out, each one of y'all have had the chance to look at it. the only change we made to, other than to, everything that's been put into code of ordinances, Charlene, you correct me if I'm wrong, but everything that's been put into code of ordinances has been reviewed by their staff attorneys to make sure it comply with state law, so everything's kosher, been brought up to speed. Everything that we passed and everything that's been done has been brought up to speed from what was already on there, and then everything that's been added or amended since 2003. In other words, this is an ordinance adopting and enacting a new code for the town of Society Hill, South Carolina, providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not included therein, providing for penalty for the violations thereof, providing for the manner of amending such code, and providing for such code, and this ordinance shall become effective at the end of tonight's meeting. Like I say, we spent a lot of time on it, and it's a class act. I'm very proud of it. I've been working on it, I don't know, year to year and a half with Charlene and with the municipal officials, and I don't think there's a town in the state now that has an ordinance up to date as we are. That's what municipal officials tell me. And so what I would like to do is to please encourage you, the municipal official says, I got the phone here with me tonight. If anybody has any questions that don't want to accept this, he said he's attending 2 meetings, but he would be glad to take a call from us. If there's any questions, there should be no questions. He highly recommends that this is something we need to go ahead and do it now. Should have been done earlier, and so, entertain a motion to
I
accept.
make a motion that we accept the ordinance number 03/2021-2022 for the town of Society Hill, an ordinance adopting and enacting a new code for the town of Society Hill, South Carolina.
I second the motion.
There's a motion to adopt this ordinance number 3, the code adoption ordinance, and a proper second. Any other discussion, questions, or concerns from members of the council? Hearing none, I call for the question. All in favor of the order before us signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It will be accepted as unanimous. That's 7B. 6B. 6C, we discussed last time of the resolution to accept the municipal code corporation, better known as Muni Code, to offer to put our codes online for $300 per year. We've accepted the code now by this ordinance. There again, Charlie asked me to call him. Let me read from an email that he sent me. According to state law, municipal ordinances are to be codified for public inspection. Each municipal council shall provide by ordinance for the codification and indexing of all ordinances, either typewritten or printed, and the maintenance of ordinances in a current form reflecting all amendments and repeals. All ordinances as codified shall be available for public inspection at reasonable times. And he's saying here, what I'm asking here now is to put this online, this code that we've adopted, to put it online so that you can pick up your smartphone at any time and see what the town laws are and everything else. So you don't even have to come to town hall. It lessens the burden on our staff and everything. He said that providing the online services with Muni Code, Society Hill provides access to the town's code 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It cuts down council and staff time answering questions of citizens, making unnecessary copies of codes, etc. I would recommend that you codify your ordinance with Muni Code annually. They have staff attorneys that will review any conflicts with Society Hill Code that would exist with state or federal law. He was saying that the money that they are willing to do, as Joanne asked me last time, do for $300 a year. Like I say, they first were quoting $550. I got them down to $300. He said these public dollars are well spent, the municipal official. municipalities in the county that use this services is well spent money of public funds. And he said there's probably well over 100 cities in town in the state of South Carolina that does this. And I think if you read the item, the contract, you see the contract attached here too. And basically the contract goes on to say, if you read the contract, I think they have over 4,000 clients in the United States, 3,700 municipal councils throughout the United States. They're headquartered out of Tallahassee, Florida. The second page of that basically said they've agreed to put ours online for $300 a year. But the good part about this, and Charlie could explain it out here, is we had Municode, Municipal Code Corporation, to get this, and they have it, and we have it. They're well aware of this town now, and what they would do by getting them to host this online on their site, be easy to look up, you can go look all over town. By doing this with Municode, in other words, what they'll do at the end of every year, I don't know whether it be the end of a fiscal year or calendar year, but whatever, I would say in our case, whatever, whichever they use, we don't have to depend on, after I'm gone, after Mr. Duke's gone, after Brenda's gone, 20, 30 years from today, they will continually be in business. They will have somebody to reach out to the town and say, what have y'all done during the last year?
Updated it.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Except for, one of the ordinances that are not put in, code of ordinances are your budgetary ordinances. They're not considered permanent in nature, so they don't put in there. But they would reach out to us, we wouldn't have to reach out to them, so if somebody forgets it, that's how things happen. You forget it, delay it, you don't get it done. Well, they'll reach out to us to make sure, and then what they do, we'll say, okay, well, during the course of the year, we didn't have one ordinance last year, or we had 2 ordinances. So we'll send that to them, they'll review it, their legal staff will review it, and they'll send it back, say, okay, take out page 227 and 228, and replace it with this page and that page. And then take these pages out and replace it. If they do it, and it's legal, and everything's up to date, then it'll be done online, and we can see it. So in other words, that's the great advantage of doing with Municode as opposed to going to some third party that don't have anything to do with Municode. So Municode's the way to go, and the fact that they're gonna do it for $300 a year now. At the end of a year, when they get in contact with us, hopefully we should get in contact with them, but if we should forget, they won't get in contact with us. That's one of the great things about it. There's a fee that they charge with what they do, minimal fee, or whatever they charge, but I mean, that's what they're gonna charge anyway, regardless of who would be doing it. Yes, Joanne?
Tommy, I love this, I'm all for it, don't get me wrong. I just have a question for the maintenance fee, like if we write the 2 ordinances, we're gonna have to send them to update. They're gonna charge a small additional maintenance fee. Do we need to do another ordinance for that fee?
No, this covers it all. And we don't, every time we pass an ordinance, we don't have to do it, we just have to do it yearly. Our town's so small.
Right.
We would just do it yearly.
I know, but this says 300, so that's gonna be over 300, so.
Yeah,
I just wanna know
but
how-
the 300 is just to keep it online.
Right, so for the maintenance, are we gonna have to go through this for the maintenance?
Well, this is considered the maintenance, that would be an addition to this, and they would charge that addition to add it to it. $300 to maintain it for a year online.
Right,
That's about,
And then they would take on the responsibility of making sure we keep it updated.
right.
All that's within the $300. Now, Charlene, you could add to that.
The maintenance fee you're talking about is when we send these annual ordinances in July next year.
Right.
They charge, I think they said 20 cents a page,
I think so.
so that's a very small
Okay.
maintenance fee.
Okay, I didn't, well, he said attorneys, I didn't.
Yeah, they're attorneys,
Okay.
yeah, it's just in house the process that they do. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Charlie said, and he even said there again, that he feels so strongly about it that I could pick up the phone and put him on speakerphone.
Yeah, I love it.
But I don't think we need to do that.
No, you need a motion to accept.
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, that we accept it.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, there's a motion made and it's proper second.
Tommy, may I interject for a second here?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
Because of the nature of my job as a librarian and knowing how to do these books, when these ordinances are updated next year, if you bring your books to the library, I will show you how to update your books. So when I leave,
you have access and know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, Shirley has been, she's professional, the people have bragged on her down in Tallahassee. She has a degree, bachelor's degree in English, and then a degree in library science, a master's degree in life, so she's very good, and she helped the county do theirs.
No, I just organize their books whenever they come into my library, so I know exactly how they're done.
Well, whatever it is you do, you're good at it.